Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana 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 Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradha Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vandachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Bihari. Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ashta Sakhi Panchatattva Prahlad Vishnu Bhagavan Ki. Or as a process of fanning that spark that he had in his heart of allowing the possibility. That might be, but I will only believe it if he knows how to dance. So this is our response. And so we fan the spark of those who are not really atheists, but rather agnostics. Not sure, it might be. So we come as an answer. Krishna does that and many, many other wonderful things. Therefore, he's known as Krishna. What is the meaning? All attractive. He attracts all living due to his very boring and dull qualities, right? No, very exuberant, festive, and all-encompassing personalities full of all opulences. By definition, God is one who possesses all of them in full. And what are those? Fame, okay. Power, opulence, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation, yeah. Strength, yeah, power. I guess power, you meant strength, power, yeah, same thing, okay. So 6 of those, if possessed in full, that's Krishna. Sometimes the renunciation also stands for humility. Or like, detachment. Can you be detached if you're not humble? And vice versa? Not really, right? Okay, so we're going to do from the chapter 1. This is the exciting part. Something that everybody was anticipating throughout the whole 9 cantos. That was a long time ago. I think last year when we came, we're on third or fourth canto. A year ago, something like that, yeah. So it's been over a year we've been anticipating for the birth of all attractive one. The birth of one who never takes birth. Krishna's other name is Aja. Is not born, but yet he appears. Why? Why would somebody who doesn't take birth? Or one who is Atmarama or self-satisfied, content, act at all or engage in activities, relationships? Why would that be? What moves the unmovable? Come on, bhaktas, yes. We're all bhaktas. So bhakti moves him, although he doesn't have to move. If you look at the pictures of Krishna, all kinds of activities. But the only reason he does it is to reciprocate with his devotees. He's known as Bhakta Vatsala. He doesn't have to act, but yet He takes the reins of a chariot, kind of low-class Uber kind of job. Well, Uber is respectful vocation, but a taxi driver, yeah. And not only that, but he goes and feeds the horses every day. He washes them. He doesn't eat before he feeds the horses, just like good Uber driver. Menial service. He takes the menial service for his devotees, not just God-like figure on a throne, but even like menial service, which we saw fully exhibited in Lord Chaitanya's pastime. So just a few things to keep in mind. Not an ordinary appearance, not an ordinary dealings. And consequently, because we are reading the chapter 1, the birth of Lord Krishna, he appears as a son of Vasudeva and Devaki because of their devotion to have Krishna as their son, which they did in 3 incarnations. So this is the culmination of their desire to have Krishna as their son. And we can deal with Krishna in 5 major different rasas. And one of them is parental, right? You are learning that from the Bhakti Shastra, right? 5 major rasas, okay. All right, so there's a meter, we're gonna sing, we're gonna have fun, and we need 3, well, we have all the volunteers. We have all the volunteers. Hopefully I can remember the meter, but anyway, one who knows, he can correct me. So starting with verse 58, this is done by narrator. Then we're gonna have Vasudev, who will be you, right? Shruti will be Vasudev. There's a little drama or melodrama of Krishna's appearance and dealings. And then Devaki will be Kiara. Kiara, you're Devaki? Yeah? Okay. Don't be shy. We're going to need you to project that voice. And then Vishnu, I can try to do that. Was that agreement? I'll try to do that. And then narrator closes up all the way to the text 85. So starting with narrator, verse 58. Oh yeah, is that the agreement? You're gonna be. Oh, she doesn't know. You didn't tell her. Oh, you did. Oh, okay. Okay. Now you know. Sorry.
Thus, having come to Devaki to eulogize and pray, the many gods and sages went invisibly away. Lord Krishna can do anything, so all of them were pleased to see him be the child of his most faithful devotees. One pleasant evening, earth seemed bathed in happiness and love. The sacred constellation Rohini appeared above, with other stars and planets twinkling in the cloudless sky. The universe itself seemed pleasing, still, and satisfied. The moonlit Mother Earth displayed her pastures, mines, and towns. In fragrant trees, cuckoos and bees sang out their pleasing sounds. The rivers poured clear water into reservoirs and lakes, where lotuses and lilies bloomed, appearing wide awake. The Brahmins rose before the dawn, took bath, and set alight their sacrificial fires in accord with Vedic rites. Across the lakes and pastures, silky, fragrant breezes came. This pleased the Brahmins tending fires, but didn't spoil the flames. The Brahmins, who had suffered much from Kamsa and his men, began to feel tranquility pervade their hearts again. The higher worlds resounded with the sounds of kettle drums, as gods peered down at earth, expecting Krishna soon would come. While gods threw flowers, danced, and sang in heavenly enclaves, assembling clouds made thundering sounds like gentle ocean waves. Then Vishnu, he who dwells within the hearts of you and me, appeared as if a full moon from the heart of Devaki. In his 4 hands, the child held lotus, chakra, conch, and club, his bangled arms and jeweled ears and gold helmet above. His scattered hair set off his yellow silks and blue-black skin, and there around his neck was hung the famed Kaustuba gem. As Vasudeva beheld the child, he thought his eyes had failed. How could the Lord, so nicely dressed, be born inside a jail? The father could not celebrate, though he was much inclined, so he gave out 10,000 cows within his joyous mind. On seeing how the child's effulgence lit the dismal cell, the awestruck Vasudeva felt peace, his worries all dispelled. He joined his palms and bowed his head, and then, though it seemed strange, began with wife and newborn son the following exchange.
Primeval, transcendent, ubiquitous Lord, I see your position as never before. You made the creation, yet as its God, you are here as our wait.
This is when you sway.
You are here as our Son by your sweet facade. Your powers create everything that we see, yet they are distinct and complete potencies. You too are distinct from this world you have made, yet my confused eyes see you clearly today. My Lord, you are adored in the finest of rooms. Why come in a jail through a prisoner's womb? O Master of all, I can safely presume, since you have arrived, cruel Kamsa is doomed.
Dear Almighty Lord, now at last you have come within your creation as bright as the sun. The Vedas exalt you in all you arrange. No one can divorce you or force you to change. The common man longs for the heavenly skies and freedom from illness, old age, and demise. But when you appear, death itself runs away, and we all feel peaceful, no longer afraid. As Kamsa still persecutes good people, please defeat all the fears of sincere devotees, and cover this form much adored by the wise from envious evil material eyes. Your four-handed form doesn't fit in this world. I should have a two-handed boy or a girl. No one will think Vishnu could come from my womb. Please change and I'll hide you. The guards will come soon.
Spoken like a real mother. Okay, my turn. Is it the same? Okay, my dear mother, now.
Yeah.
My dear mother, now please be blessed. Among chaste women, you are the best. Let me now, I have to have deeper voice, this is Vishnu. Let me now put your mind at rest. Let your heart fill with happiness. Long ago in a former life, you were still Vasudeva's wife. Though Brahma said to procreate, you first sat down to meditate. Both of you sat through heat and cold, hearts made perfect by self-control. I was pleased, so I asked you to say what you wanted me to do. All you wanted, you said humbly, was the boon of son like me. Twice I came as your son back then. Here today, I've come again. Had I come as a normal boy, would your fate have been unalloyed? Still I'm yours, and since you love me, when you die, you will come to me.
Lord Vishnu then fell silent, and before his parents' eyes, he changed from Vishnu to a child of normal shape and size. Reclining in his legendary transcendental form, he showed himself as baby Krishna, smiling bright and warm. Then Yogamaya took her birth, just as Lord Krishna planned, across the river Yamuna in Nanda's rural land. When Yashoda, King Nanda's wife, gave birth that mystic night, exhausted from her labor, she slept on, her eyes shut tight. By Yogamaya's influence, the guards in Kamsa's jail, not hearing sounds of childbirth, not a whimper, sob, or wail, fell fast asleep as well and could not see nor hear a sound, as all the gates swung open and their locks fell to the ground. When thundering clouds let out their rain as gently as they could, a mystic serpent sheltered man and son with many hoods. As Vasudeva, the huge white snake, and babe of blackish blue snuck quickly past the sleeping guards, King Kamsa slept on too. The swirling river Yamuna, made deeper by the showers, came to a halt and made a path by Yogamaya's power. The river welcomed Vasudeva, lest Krishna should be lost, just as the Indian Ocean once allowed Lord Ram to cross. When Vasudeva reached Nanda's house, where everybody slept, he found the room of Yashoda and pondered his next step. In hopes that even Kamsa would not kill a newborn daughter, he switched the babes and ran at once back through the swirling waters. Back past the sleeping guards, he slipped through every open door. He chained himself and Devaki in shackles as before. He placed the girl by Devaki, who looked at her and smiled, while Yashoda, asleep, knew not the gender of her child.
Jai. It's okay to clap. You can do that now. Thank you for a wonderful recitation and invocation of most celebrated event in a year of devotees, Krishna Janmashtami. Shri Krishna Janmashtami ki. Did you feel the appearance through the narration? Krishna has appeared. And I particularly like this part of Mother Devaki, although in the narrator was wonderful and Vasudeva also. But this this really, you know, the way Devaki, the mother, takes shelter in a world of danger. By the way, we are also in a world of danger. It is not just people in a prison. Sometimes actually this whole material world is compared to prison, right? Durga. What is the meaning of Durga? This material world. Ga means to go and Dur means very difficult. Very difficult to escape, right? What is the place that is very difficult to escape? It's a very nice and comfortable prison cell. So there's a A-class prisoner, B-class prisoner, and C-class prisoner, but nevertheless, it's a prisoner. And the shackles, what are the shackles? Three modes, yes. Sometimes we hear more direct words of shackles being the sex life of sexual attraction. You heard that saying before, it's the lust who keeps the world turning around. Oh no, they say love, but you know, love, lust, same thing, right? No, not really. Oh yeah. There you go. I didn't even notice. Great. Can we pull the board out? No, you already covered that, right? That was yesterday? Oh, Jago Tuesday. Oh, last night. Okay, great. Yeah, Bhaktitirtha Swami, he wrote a wonderful book, Spiritual Warrior #2, Transforming Lust into Love. Like gold and iron, both are metal, like Rupa Goswami explains, but there's a value in one and not so much or less value in the other. So, Devaki says, the common man, no, not this one, as Kamsa still persecutes good people, please defeat all the fears of sincere devotees. Have you ever experienced fear in this world? Right? It's kind of connected with that nasty and very tormenting lust that just never gives a break. It just never, it's burning like a fire. What is that song? Fire. Fire. The circle, the ring of fire. Yes, that's the ring of fire. You wanna sing a little bit? You cool. You can be even cooler if you sing a little bit. But you're familiar with that. So yeah, the fear and cover, it says here, and cover this form much adored by the wise from envious evil material eyes. She's her motherly nature is kicking in, so she's concerned about the child Krishna, and she is expressing this motherly feeling in a world that is full of dangers. And Krishna is known as, everything about Krishna is paradoxical, right? We hear that from many statements in Brahma Samhita. We hear that Krishna is one, but yet he comes as many. We hear that he is the youngest, or he is the oldest, yet he comes as a, ever fresh, youthful form. So is he oldest or is he youngest? Is he one or is he many? So these paragraphs are designed, they are meant to kind of open our mind to this infinite possibilities that are there present in Krishna Tattva. There's nothing more beautiful. It's infinity beautiful. And Krishna is infinity beautiful. So Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana. He's the oldest, yet Purusham Nava Yovanamcha. He's the person that it's the original fountainhead of youth. And this is very difficult. Vedeshu Durlabha, it's difficult to understand, even through the Vedas. Vedeshu Durlabha, very difficult to understand this through just scriptural injunctions. But through bhakti, Adurlabham Atma Bhakto. Adurlabha means opposite. It's very easily understood. It's very easily understood through bhakti. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. So bhakti is something that is not taught, it's rather caught in the presence of pure devotees. You can catch that. We're looking to catch that B virus, the bhakti. And in the presence of pure devotee who engages us in pure devotional service, we can hope for the purification of existence. And we have to be careful not to become a victim of any external considerations. As I say, don't judge the book by the cover. Oh, speaking about the book by the cover, maybe a handy public announcement about Lala Gopala, that a seemingly homeless person who comes and buys books actually on a regular basis. You'll recognize him as African American with a very, very unique hat. His hat has it's like a whole setup. Has a radio, a telephone, a walkie-talkie. It's like a crown of a toolbox. The entire toolbox is on his hat, and he's definitely homeless because if you come closer, you can tell he didn't bathe regularly. But nevertheless, he has received initiation of Prabhupada in Chicago, and his name is Lala Gopala. So as he comes, don't freak out, don't shoo him away, God forbid. Just be very respectful. He's only coming to reload with his Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada's books, so he can distribute more. And he's very sweet, zero attitude, zero. Doesn't expect anything. As a matter of fact, always pays for his books. And I feel bad, but he insists. So this is just a public announcement that if you do encounter it, you'll see it's a very unique personality. You won't miss it. Just notify either Shruti or myself or somebody who does books or who has access to the books, and then exchange can be made. So we can see even Krishna's devotees, they're not easily understood. And they might appear in different ways. So this theme of fear, going back, the theme of fear that comes in this part of Bhagavatam, of Krishna's appearance, fear of, it's existential fear. So existential fear of being prosecuted, being incarcerated, being imprisoned, being killed. Kamsa was ready to kill his sister while he was driving them after the wedding. But we see how the difference between Kamsa, who also was very fearful, was always thinking of Krishna. Did you know that? Kamsa was very Krishna conscious. Always. But it was not favorable. It was not favorable. And difference of devotees like Devaki and Vasudeva, they're also thinking of Krishna, but it was favorable. What is the difference? What is the difference in fear? Both are experiencing fear. But how is one handling it and how is the other one handling it? How is the devotee yes. You want to say that a little louder in the microphone because I think it's very nice.
One is a fear for Krishna out of love, and the other is a fear of out of self-preservation from some sort of ego.
That's right. Any other additions or nuances on this? How about fearing for ourselves and our services? And what do we do? Like when you jump in a car, ready to drive all the way to New Vrindavan or Dallas, what do devotees normally do? Chant the Shema. Why do we chant the Shema prayers? Why do we do that? For the protection, yeah. So is it wrong to also approach Krishna for the protection that we might endure on this path of practice of pure devotional service? It's not. So yeah, we can pray for Krishna, for mission of Krishna consciousness today in the world, that it's Krishna is presented today in the world in the form of this movement, of Prabhupada's movement. So that is Krishna's incarnation in the present day, and you're all part of it. So we can pray for Prabhupada's movement, we can pray for other devotees, but we can also pray for our well-being and protection in the course of our path of practicing pure devotional service. So that's there. And it's perfectly fine because that will differentiate us from just being always absorbed in this very negative fear of just Krishna coming to kill you, as Kamsa was constantly absorbed in this thought of Krishna coming to kill him. Very, very unfavorable. There is this prison situation. There was a book, was it called Salted? Unsalted Bread? Salted bread. Yes, salted. Unsalted will be even worse. So I guess the title kind of points out the level of gratitude that devotees in the former Soviet Union. It was a book compiled by devotees who were prosecuted, also similar kind of prison situation. They were prosecuted by the communist government and imprisoned, and some even tortured and drugged out to give up on their Krishna conscious practice, but they wouldn't. So there was a book of personal testimonies that was compiled with all these stories of how they would handle the situation in prison. And it was, boy, when you read, it's just like, what is my problem? I mean, what do I have to complain about? What, like not enough salt in khichdi? Just add some more. Or it's too much salt, just skip a meal. You don't like it. And wait for the next one. They would actually, in their minds, they would offer the entire artis They would chant, of course. Chanting would always go on. And for their beads, they didn't have beads, of course, but they would collect this bread and they will make this, like, mix it with water, and you can actually, it's pliable when it's, that mixture is like that. So they make these beads of bread, and it will dry. When these small little beads would dry, it would be like a, bead. So they will use these bread beads to chant their japa. and and just the the creativity and just the level of dedication of not giving up on their practice of Krishna consciousness was so, like, staggering, so inspirational. And they would offer these within their minds. It's called manasa seva. All these elaborate, flower arrangements, and this shows you that devotional service cannot be stopped. It's unstoppable. Ahaituki apratihata. It's unmotivated and uninterrupted. And in that way, it can actually satisfy the self. You can give pleasure when it's performed in that way, that there's never really excuse not to perform on any level. Like, you might not be able to attend the arati, but within your mind, or just thinking favorable of devotees who are actually attending or doing service, you'll be part of it. You'll be giving credit. Yeah, another situation, of course, we have our own Dr. Alex, who was also in a prison, and he's having a great time. He told me, I never felt, I'm feeling more free here in a prison than I ever felt in my life outside of prison. So it's just the state of mind. This Krishna consciousness is really the training the mind, or curbing this restless mind, who is like a monkey, always jumping here and there, not realizing actually that we're in very peculiar, dangerous situation in the material world. And kamala dhala jala jivana, at any moment, life is flickering. At any moment, it can be lost or gone, like a tilting drop on a lotus petal. It's just there, and then any moment it can go. Kamala dhala jivana talama. Very peculiar situation we're in. But Yoga Maya, or should I say Maha Maya, it covers us. No, everything is fine. You're still young. You enjoy. Go and just play games. Play games every day. And no, now that we're young, we have to curb down this restless mind and make it our best friend. Or we can just settle for living with our worst enemy and see how that works out. The old age regrets. It's the closest thing to hell. Or as they say, the health is the truth. The hell, one of the definitions, hell is the truth that is seen too late. Yeah, don't waste. Please do not waste time. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Vedanta Sutra is urging us that now is the time to inquire about the absolute. Now is the time to reboot our SSR, the science of self-realization. We have to reboot it every day, every week. And then, once you perform that basic human duty of this precious human form, then, yeah, there's time for other things. But first duty, then pleasure. Right? What is the duty? Tato Brahma Jigyasa. Some say now that you have a human form, but even some other translations is now that you have time. Now that you have time. Because there's no guarantee. Parikshit had 7 days that it was guaranteed. We're not guaranteed 7 minutes. These are the realities that are kind of taken away from us by Mahamaya, by the illusion. She has a covering potency and then the pulling potency. And no matter how disgusting one's existence is, it's perfectly normalized in a world of conditioning. Did you notice that? No matter how low you go, there's this tendency to normalize that. Remember the curse of Brihaspati? When Indra, the king of heaven, became what? A hog. And he was okay. He was all right. Miss Piggy was there. And little piglets. And there was like a regular supply of, how do you call that food? Huh? Slop. Was daily supply of slop was there. Nothing to worry about. Just rolling in a what's the word? Excrements. That's the proper word, right? Excrements. They own, the whole family was just pooping in the living room. Yeah, rolling up. It was, yeah, but for them it was like juicy stuff, good stuff. So there's no end of conditioning and normalizing it. But we should look up. If we have to assume things, why not assume positive possibilities, looking for the possibilities? How can I elevate in this sunshine state of consciousness? How can we elevate? So it's very interesting. So Alex was, just so inspiring. Like he's in this predicament, but it's ahaitukya pratihata. It does not stop him from performing of devotional service or practice of pure devotional service. And everybody's perplexed. Everybody's like puzzled. He's dropping these bombs, Krishna conscious bombs, and nobody can figure him out. It's like Christians are there, yeah, Muslims are there, but they have a very obscure information about Godhead, which Godhead stands for divinity. Very obscure. And Alex is just like, boom, like pure Prabhupada, just boom, boom. And everybody's like, whoa, what's going on? Like, what's going on? This guy's like off the chain, no pun intended. And is creating a havoc there. People are approaching for more, they're asking for more books, because once the soul is nourished, once the soul gets the taste, we spoke about that, how the truth will ruin you. Once you've seen the light, there's no going back. You can try. There was a guy who actually he had a discourse with, and they were like debating, and he became offensive. And publicly, he said something not very nice to Alex and everybody present. Said, Krishna is, I don't want to say fake. Krishna is not true, or something like that. And Alex was like, I don't think you should be saying that, bro. He was just giving him this like fair warnings. And then sure enough, like later on, like day or two, the same guy had a relapse. Like he was clean like for so many years, and then he relapsed. So there was, and then Alex, check this out, how good of a heart he had in that situation. Said, oh, and he was feeling bad for the person. Says, what have I done? So this is, something you only experience dealing with devotees. There's no blame game. It's like radical individual responsibility. Says, oh, I've caused this. He felt bad over the phone. He was telling me, I've caused this person. I said, no, please relax. Don't think like that. Of course, you can console, but still, I'm sure he feels as part of that, or he has done something or said something that will actually aggravate the person to that extent. But I try to calm him down and just tell him that you can't control the world. You can't control the world around you. You can't control what other people think, say, or do. You're not Krishna. Basically, I have to tell him, hey, you're not Krishna. Hey, wake up. You're not Krishna. You're doing your part. Some might like you, some might not like you. That's how the world is. Anyway, I can tell you more about Alex and how we're trying to accommodate his prison revolution that is causing or starting to get letters also from other prisons, other prisoners who are in touch or in his proximity. And I shared one on a chat. You saw that. But I have to tell you, there's so much red tape in just trying to deal with the prison system. Actually, it's not a red tape, it's like a red wall. Like, I'll give you an example, like, we got approved to send him these Tulsi beads so he can wear, because I saw, when I visited him a few times, I saw these Christians wearing all kinds of chains and crosses. So I arranged Chaplain Austin, he approved of it. And then when it was sent, he kind of backpedaled on me and said that we can have a second pair of beads because he has his japamala. And I said, it's not a bead, it's a necklace, but it's made of beads. I was like, what's that emoji? And I was like, I was thinking, like, seriously? So in our regulation, prison regulations, the prisoners are allowed chains. I was like, wow, you're allowed chains for the prisoners. Interesting. And pendants. So you can wear a pendant, and it says it's for Hindus, it's Om pendant. I was like, who made that law? Like, who came up with that? I have to really get involved and roll up my sleeve and really get to the bottom of this. This is ridiculous. And anyway, now I'm thinking like how to circumvent and go around this by, maybe carving pendant Om from Tulsi and putting it on a chain. And I said, and immediately my mind started racing, how can we accommodate this? So I said, well, what about pendant made of Tulsi wood on a chain? It was like, and then you can just see his mind just froze. He was like, I got to talk to the supervisor. I was like, whatever. So it's a constant battle. Yeah, material world, it's no fun. So much bureaucracy. It's the world where heart is forgotten, or where heart is rather frozen. They're frozen. Our hearts are frozen in fear. Not a fun place. I mean, everybody's experiencing existential crisis, especially nowadays. The war and talk about, shooting balloons, and China getting pissed off because, oh, you shot our balloon. So what? Make another one. It's just a balloon. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So everybody's like, even more, normally our hearts are frozen in fear and this kind of lower emotions. And they're not, what to speak of heart being open, that's far from hearts being open. So Prabhupada, one day in Boston, he was walking, early on in the movement, he was walking and breaking it was winter, and breaking these ice puddles, and they were frozen. And it was, every time he would with his cane, pop it. So what is the meaning? I'll walk a few more steps, pop it. What is the meaning? And he would turn around and ask, what is the meaning? And everybody was like, younger devotees wearing jeans and jackets, still kind of early on. Like, oh, it's frozen and you breaking it, bro? So they had like different, but none of the answers satisfying. So Prabhupada said, this is the job of the guru. Guru breaks this artificial state of heart of a student. It's artificial. The state of fear, it's artificial. It's not real. Like artificial intelligence. It's called artificial for a reason, right? It's not real. But on the other side, you have real human stupidity, right? So what do you get? What do you get when you mix real human stupidity with artificial intelligence? What do you get? More stupidity, right? They call it cyber insecurity. There's cyber security and then there's cyber insecurity. Yeah, the illusion. Yeah, the illusion.
Because at least if you're stupid, then that. But if you
Yeah, yeah, the illusion of intelligence. Do you suffer from illusion of intelligence? Yeah, a little bit. What is the antidote? What is the cure for that? From illusion of intelligence or from real stupidity? What's worse? Stupidity or illusion of intelligence? So from illusion of intelligence to plain raw stupidity to taking shelter of, oh, there's a produce truck. It's Wednesday. What will make a difference to make that sequence from darkness to light? What is the factor that will make a difference? Yes, Prabhupada was breaking these ice puddles. Brahmanda, and it's rare, Brahmanda Brahmite Kon, Bhagyavam Jeev. One takes shelter by some good fortune, is brought into contact of his guru or spiritual master. And then actually that is the beginning of his good, or one's good fortune. It is the beginning of one's good fortune. Provided the shishya or student is honest, he can admit, I don't know nothing, but I can repeat things that I've heard, that I value, and they have a wisdom and benefit for myself and for the humanity. And that acceptance of Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, Chittete Korya, accepting the words of the Guru will purify our consciousness, coming from darkness to light. Otherwise, speaking about prison again, if we are shackled in prison, how can we be helped by somebody who is outside of that, right? Outside of that system. So Guru has the key, not only of a prison cell, but also the shackles or whatever its impediment, and is patiently working. But especially in this example of Prabhupada, just breaking these puddles. Breaking that artificial state of heart, that it's closed, not only it's closed, but it's frozen, it's full of fear, and it's in a jam, doesn't flow. What's the natural state of water when it's not frozen? It flows, right? It's fluidity, right? You have that in martial arts. When things flow, right? When things flow nicely, then there's a good chance that you'll be able to handle the opponent. But if you're jammed, especially if you're jammed in your breathing, then when that flow is disrupted, then there's a problem. So Guru will give you that fluidity, provided we connect And you also feel additional velocity. You will move with the greatest speed in your life. Just grab hold of Krishna's representative, Srila Prabhupada, and grab hold of Krishna's lotus feet, like Devaki and Vasudeva are doing this here in this chapter. Hare Krishna. Any comments, questions, answers? Breakfast is ready. Srila Prabhupada ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Shri Krishna Janmashtami ki,